When's the last time you felt really happy? Like really happy, and you didn't have to earn it. You didn't have to work towards it. You didn't have to clean up or do anything in order to be happy. Is that even like a reality for you? Well, my name is Dara Tomasson, and I am a life coach for quilters, and this is episode 196, Be Happy Without Losing Weight, the Quilters Coach podcast. All right, lady and gents, but my stats say there aren't many guys that listen to this. I want to ask you some questions. Let's do this. And then we're going to share a win for one of my clients, and then we're going to get a really helpful tool. It's going to help you so much. I promise you, after listening to this podcast, you can't unknow what you learn, right? And this is going to be so helpful. All right. So let's do this little activity. So when I blank, then I can blank. So when I finish the dishes, then I can go sit down. When I lose the weight, then I can feel good about myself. When I get an award at the quilt show, then I can be a real quilter. When someone pays me to speak, then I'm a professional speaker. I don't know. When I'm retired, then I can be happy, or I can relax. Or when this kitchen renovation is over, then I'll be able to feel good about myself. When I'm married, when my kids leave the home, when, how? And I'm going to be very bold here, but I have a feeling that a lot of people have lived their life this way, so which means they haven't truly lived. The plateau effect, okay? When I'm this, then I can feel this way. But then when you get there, you still realize, oh, wait a minute, I'm not that happy, or it hasn't changed yet, or maybe I guess it's something else, okay? So I'm going to teach you a tool today. It's going to help with that. Now, before I do want to share a win from one of in the membership. So I have a membership, a lifetime membership called Love Yourself Thin. And in that membership, we learn that weight loss is never about the food. And in that membership, we have life coaching tools to help us get to the root of why we overeat, or why we always feel exhausted and we feel like we don't really get that much done, or why we keep saying yes to everyone else and never saying yes to us, or why we're feeling guilty all the time. So these are the kinds of things that we work on inside my membership so that you can guarantee permanent weight loss. And in fact, I even have a 20 pounds down in 90-day money back guarantee when people join my membership. So one of the ladies in my membership, she's gained some weight back, and she's been trying to understand why. Now, in the past, it was blame. Well, with my husband, he just eats so much, and he snacks all the time. So why can't I? It's just not fair. Or shame of I'm not good enough. No matter what I do, clearly this doesn't work for me. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I'm deficient. Something's wrong with me. Okay. So the funnest thing about this member and the membership is that she's put a little bit of weight back on. But guess what? She's not shaming herself, and she's not blaming anyone else. She's actually saying, why am I getting this weight back? Oh, my dad talked a lot about weight, and there was a lot of connection with, like, if I wanted my dad's approval, I needed to be overweight. Okay, that's interesting. Right? So now she's actually thinking, and she's able to be more neutral and more curious of like, I wonder what is keeping me. Because I sure like being someone who doesn't have to worry about type 2 diabetes. And I sure liked it when I was 80 pounds down. I sure like that. I don't really like having this extra 20 pounds now. That doesn't feel good to me. So what is it? And it's been so awesome to watch. So awesome. She's finally changing the way that she's looking at things, which just brings so much Um, just so much freedom, right? I love it. Okay. So in the when you think about this if when, what is that actually saying? It's saying you're very conditional. Okay? And so when we are conditional, so it's saying when I'm this way, then I can feel good. Now imagine that you talk to your kids this way. Imagine if you said, "Oh, yeah, you're just not as tall as I'd like you to be. So, and oh, I was really hoping you'd get 10 points in that basketball game and you didn't. So, um, I don't think you're gonna be getting those new basketball shoes." Or, ah, man, I, you're not as cute as those other kids, and they sing better than you. So maybe we need to do some like maybe you need to go live with someone else. Right? Could you ever imagine talking to your kids that way? Or to your nephews? Or to your friends? I was like, oh man, you're kind of embarrassing to walk with because you're not wearing like super cool jeans. Okay? But how often do you talk to yourself that way? So I have some questions here. So first, before I go to the questions, I want you to start thinking, what are my when I blank, then I? And I'm going to share, I like stories. So I grew up with a mom who was kind of addicted to renovating, which is, I mean, of all the things you could be addicted to, that's actually not so bad, right? Because she had, I have 5 siblings. We learned how to work. We learned how to strip wallpaper. We learned how to sand. We learned how to clean up after the workers. We learned how to do all sorts of jobs. And in fact, there's no question, like there's no wonder that all of her kids have renovated lots of houses. We kind of like that. It's kind of exciting, right? To take something that's not so pretty or is outdated, and we can have a vision for it, and then we can make it happen. So it's very exciting. But it also can be a curse. So my husband and I have renovated how many houses? So many. So many. Our first house we bought, renovated that house, new kitchen, painted everything, drywalled the basement, did everything. We did our house yes, in Red Deer. We did 2 houses in Red Deer, actually. We renovated in Toronto when we lived there, 2 houses in a small town in Alberta, and a house in another town in Alberta. Like probably 10 houses we've renovated. And it was interesting. So this is before coaching, BC, before coaching. And a lot of my worth, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but it's the truth, had to do with how pretty my house was. And I got to tell you, I had some really pretty houses because I renovated a lot of houses and I made them really pretty. And I put a lot of work into them and I was really proud of them. And then we moved here to the island, and the housing costs were crazy here. And we bought a very bland bungalow, tan everything, with no granite countertops, no tile. It was all like, I know I sound like a snob. I do sound like a snob. I get it. But we lived in some really, really beautiful homes, and what we spent on this house was ridiculous, like compared to what we had had before. So, anyways, my ego, my self-worth, my need for external approval plummeted when we moved here. I was embarrassed. It was so hard for me. I didn't want to invite people over. The house seemed so small and it was so ugly. although we lived on a beautiful piece of property and we had actually like land that we'd never had before, but the house was not that great and it didn't really fit our home, our family, I mean. And so we had to convert the garage into my studio and my daughter's bedroom. It was tough. It was. And it was hard, like going from a really pretty homes, lots of space and lots of beauty to blah. And we didn't have the money. We're not the kind of people that go into debt for anything really, and other than like just a mortgage. But even our cars, like we save for a car and we drive it till it pretty much dies. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is that so many of us think that in order for us to feel good, we have to lose the weight and we have to like grind it out. And even for me, it was so interesting as I had this house and we also when we bought this house, we also actually bought a rental as well because the people who bought our house had a house in Nanaimo. It was a rental upstairs and downstairs, and it was too small for our family. So we had this rental property plus the house that we bought, which was amazing. But it also meant that we didn't have the resources and we weren't willing to get um, take a loan and renovate. So I had to make a decision. I had to decide, okay, am I going to enjoy my house? Or am I going to mope? Am I going to complain? Am I going to whine? Am I going to just be depressed? I'm just going to feel sorry for myself? And actually, I did that for a while. I did. I know. I'm a little embarrassed, but that's okay. But then I found coaching and I started to see things in a different perspective. And then what started happening was I was able to get curious and we were actually able to sell our rental, and that gave us an opportunity to and actually the day we bought our house, we booked a contractor who was amazing. And we knew it was like a year or two out. And we eventually got permission from the region to build, and I just went through it and got the plans and we were able to sell our other house so that we could pay for this addition. And but during that whole process, I started realizing, okay, this house is kind of ugly. It's the ugliest house I've ever had, but it actually takes care of my kids. Like we don't have it rains a lot here. It's like they don't have to sleep outside. And I had dinner parties of 50 people and the kitchen was so ugly and it was so weirdly designed and it was not great. Like it wasn't super high end anything really. And but I thought I can have a dinner party for 50 people and these people enjoy themselves. They actually don't care. And I can take care of all of my kids. I don't need to have a fancy this and a fancy that. I can have a lot of really great memories with my kids. We can we can do things outside that we never did before. And it was really fascinating to watch because I started to appreciate this ugly, ugly house. And it wasn't so ugly anymore. And now, almost 8 years later, I'm just about finished with this renovation of this kitchen. And we took out a wall. We took out, we actually had to get the floors all redone and we had to add new floors and kind of bring them together where there was a front room and we took that wall out and then the kitchen had lino in it, but then we got the matching floor and my husband and my sons, they put that in and then we got these guys to come in and resand and then restain and it's all nice now. And we have this huge, beautiful kitchen. It's crazy. I actually, when I designed it, I didn't realize like how big and beautiful it was going to be. And yesterday was the first day that I put the groceries away and I came in and the countertops were all done. It was so pretty. And I thought, huh, this is my kitchen now. And so, but I started to learn to love that kitchen as it was falling apart, as there were things that were degrading. We had like my son stepped on the bottom of the fridge, so we had water damage. And then the fridge broke, and then we had this weird, ugly black one, and then the stove broke. So then I got this free one on Facebook Marketplace that was so little, but so powerful. It was like the best pizza oven. It was so good. It was like a 1985 Gen Air wall oven. But I started to really appreciate that kitchen. And the fun thing is, we gave that kitchen away to our friends who remodeled it and they sanded it and they painted it, and it works really well in their space. Now, I'm feeling some emotion because as I'm sharing the story about my kitchen, I'm thinking about the way I used to talk to myself, the way my clients used to talk about themselves, and I just see now how beautiful they are and how they have really been able to um, they've been able to learn to just be neutral about themselves and then learn to appreciate themselves. So I teach them to say things like, I might not really like my belly and I don't really like my chest, or I don't like my bum and I don't like this and that, but I really like my hands because my hands, they make things. And like, I might not like this part of my body, but I like that I can see. I like that I can hear. I like that I can smell. And I like that I can change diapers and I can make quilts and I can hug people. And then I see my clients as they start to accept themselves exactly how they are. And they actually start buying bras that fit them. And they start buying clothes. They don't wait to buy the nice clothes for when they lose the weight. They actually buy pants. They only have a few of them. I say, you don't have to have lots. Just have a few of them that fit well. And then eventually, in 2 months, 4 months, maybe next month, I don't know, they might be too big for you. That's fine. You can just give them away. And it's interesting for me when I see my clients who are in a plateau. Guess what they're not doing? They're not loving themselves unconditionally. They're starting that old thinking pattern of, if you were skinnier, you'd be happier. If you were this, then you would be this. Or when you get to this weight, then you can think good about yourself or think well about yourself. I want to challenge you to learn how to be happy without losing weight. I actually learned to love my kitchen. I would say, oh, such a funny, silly kitchen. But look at all the memories. Look at what I've been able to do. I taught my kids how to cook in that kitchen. During COVID, we would do ethnic theme nights. They learned how to do all sorts of different things. I created a really loving family that cooked together, regardless of that weird kitchen. And I'm so glad that I let myself just accept that kitchen, because otherwise I would have missed out. And one of the things that brings me so much sadness are those women who are sitting on the sidelines and they're not enjoying their lives because they keep saying, well, when I lose the weight, then I can be happy. So I hope that the words that I'm sharing, I hope you can feel my sincerity. I hope you can feel my love. I hope you can feel that you can actually, like, the truth that I'm saying will resonate with you. Because doing another diet, keto, whatever that is, I mean, I know you'll, like, whatever you put your mind to, I know you will do it really well for a while. Then life happens, right? life is unpredictable. I have so many of the members in my membership that all of a sudden their mom needs to go into, I mean, I did this with my dad. I did this with my mom. I have to change my life so that I can go and take care of them and share like the responsibility. And so now all of a sudden we're like moving our parents, or all of a sudden now we're um renovating a kitchen, or we're helping a child has a baby, and so we go and we help them, and now we're babysitting, or now we're flying here, or we have someone has a sickness, or your kids are really good at basketball, so they play basketball every night almost, and now we're driving all the time. So learning how to love yourself, be happy wherever you are. And the more that you can do that, that unconditional love, the more that you can, make this promise so solemnly, the more success you're going to have. And so if you are struggling with your weight, your physical weight, I would encourage you to come and book a free coaching call with me. Let me help you see what is actually stopping you, because chances are there's a lot of this happening, a lot of conditional love. And so the way that you're losing the weight is impacting the way that you are actually able to keep it off or being able to do it again. You're exhausted. Okay. I'm so glad you're listening to this podcast. I'm recording this on March 11th. My son is at a basketball tryout, and I need to leave soon because I need to go pick him up with my other son and drive him to another basketball event. My life is very full. I woke up this morning, first thing, took my kids to church for their church class, worked all day. Well, now I get to take them. I don't have a lot of free time. I mean, I have free time in my business, how I choose, but there's a lot of responsibilities. There's a lot of things that are required of all of us. Like yesterday was getting the groceries, returning the hood fan, getting the electrician to come. And then today the guy's coming to finish up this, and I need to make sure I get the wall oven and the different colors. There's all the things we have an invisible load as women. And I know most of the people here are women. And we need to change the way we think about ourselves. And the problem is, if you listen to last episode, we have a lot of routine thinking, habit thinking that is not healthy. And so in order for us to have permanent weight loss, we have to be willing to go into the brain and change those patterns. And that is why I can say with so much certainty, I have a 20 pounds down in 90-day money back guarantee, because when you actually start seeing what is required for physical weight loss, you got to do this brain work first, and then the weight will come off, I promise. All right. Take care, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. And again, don't not take me up on my offer. I don't know how much longer I can offer these free coaching calls. So make sure you take advantage. If you aren't loving your current life and hear yourself saying things like, I should be happier, I should be getting more done, or question how productive and fulfilled you are, this podcast is for you. I'm Dara Tomasson, professional quilter turned life coach for quilters, where I show you how to overcome obstacles like perfectionism, people pleasing, overeating, overcomplicating life, so that you can really start to enjoy your life by learning and using tools for your brain to help you transform your everyday living. Are you ready to make these changes? I'm ready to help. Let's start your transformation one UFO at a time.